my name is Nina House, and I will be summarizing the book Contagious, Why Things Catch On by Jonah Berger. Alrighty, so let's jump into things. The book really revolves around the question, why do some things catch on? Jonah Berger reveals the science behind word of mouth and social transmission. He argues that word of mouth is the most effective form of marketing, more trusted than your traditional ads, and he thinks this because he believes it is more persuasive and more targeted. Now, the book provides a set of 6 principles that explains how and why some ideals spread. These 6 principles of contagiousness include social currency, triggers, emotions, public, practical value, and stories. The first principle we're going to talk about is social currency. People share things that make them look good to others, whether it be cool, smart, in the know, or even generous. We care about how other people perceive us, and by sharing impressive things, that can enhance our reputation. There are 3 strategies to create social currency. This includes finding inner remarkability, leveraging game mechanics, and making people feel like insiders. Finding inner remarkability is creating something that is unique, surprising, or impressive to others. An example of this would be Snapple. The lids of Snapple have a fun fact, and people tend to relay the fun fact to others because it makes them look cool, smart, or in the know. By doing this, they advertise Snapple. Leveraging game mechanics is using competition points, progress bars, or status levels to motivate people to talk. This could be something like Candy Crunch or Duolingo, something that you get to a certain level and you share it with other people, and by doing so, you're advertising the app. And then lastly, we have making people feel like insiders, and the best example of this is found in the book, and you can see on this presentation, is Please Don't Tell. Basically, there's a hot dog restaurant in New York City, and if you go inside of it and you go to the corner, there's a phone booth that if you dial in the right number, it leads to an exclusive bar called Please Don't Tell. Now, because people think of this bar as something exclusive, it makes them look cool or in the know, they share it with other people, and other people want to come to the bar. And that brings us to our second principle, triggers. Triggers are cues in the environment that prompt people to think about related concepts and ideas. If something is top of mind, it's more likely to be talked about. One of the examples in the book I really liked was Rebecca Black's Friday. On Friday, you tend to think of her song, It's Friday, Friday, gotta get down on Friday. Well, that is free advertisement for her, since you are on Friday already thinking about her song. Other examples would be Corona and the beach. There's a lot of Corona beach advertisements, so when you're at the beach, you tend to think about one. Or Kit Kat and coffee. Kit Kat had a campaign about taking breaks, and so when people are taking a coffee break, they might think about a Kit Kat. The next principle is emotions. When people care, they share. Emotions drive behavior, especially sharing. There are different kinds of emotions though, like high arousal emotions, anger, awe, anxiety, excitement. These all can increase sharing. There are also low arousal emotions such as sadness and contentment. These typically do not. A great example from the book is Susan Boyle on Britain's Got Talent. Whenever she goes on stage, people basically write her off for her appearances and her demeanor, and then she starts singing, and it is absolutely incredible and beautiful. She sings I Dreamed a Dream by Les Mis, and the audience is awestruck. The judges are completely on the floor, and because of this emotional factor, people followed her all throughout her career, rooting her on. The next principle is public. The more visible something is, the more likely it is to be imitated. People tend to follow others, but they can only follow others if they can see what they're doing. The vocabulary I liked in this book is social proof, a psychological and social phenomenon wherein individuals mimic the actions to determine the correct behavior in a given situation. And behavioral residue is a physical traces or remnants that most actions or behaviors leave in their wake. An example of this would be Lululemon. You go shopping at Lululemon, when you check out, they give you a Lululemon bag, and people tend to wear those as kind of a social thing. But the point is that they wear them around and other people see it, and it's free advertisement. A great example from the book that I really liked is Louboutin's Red Soles. When you see red soles, most people automatically know that it's Louboutins, and because of that, it is free advertisement. Moving on to the next principle, practical value. People like to share useful information that helps other people save time, money, or effort. We're naturally inclined to pass on news you can use. Sharing helpful content makes us feel helpful, and helpful people are liked and respected. The two strategies in the book that I really liked and I thought were worth sharing are highlighting incredible values, which is basically when someone feels like they got a deal, they're more inclined to share it with others, and the rule of 100 I thought was quite interesting. If a product is less than 100, you'll use percentages as a deal. And then if a product is over $100, you'll use absolute dollars. An example from the book that I really liked was Ken Craig's Clean Ears Every Time. This man has never posted a YouTube video except for this one, and it has over 10 million views or something like that. Like a ton. A lot of people have viewed it. And basically all he's doing is teaching you how to clean corn. But because it's practical knowledge and because it's very useful, it has so many views and it blew up. Last but not least, we have stories. People don't just share information, they tell stories. Embedding your idea in a narrative makes it more engaging and memorable. If your brand or idea is embedded in a compelling narrative, people will share it without being prompted. One of the vocab words I really liked in this chapter was valuable virality. Making something not only viral, but also valuable to the sponsoring company or organization. Virality is most valuable when the brand or product benefits is integral in the story, when it's woven so deeply into the narrative that people can't tell the story without mentioning it. The example I really liked in this book would be Subway Jared Fogle. I think we all remember this guy when we were a kid. He was the one that lost 200 and something pounds from eating Subway sandwiches. Well, that's a fascinating story, and the reason that I already knew it was because it is a story, and I automatically connected it to Subway. Now here are some of the key takeaways from the book. Design products and content with the 6 principles of contagiousness in mind. Also, consider why someone would share your idea. Does it benefit their reputation? Is it emotionally provoking? Or is there some kind of practical knowledge to be gained? Embed your message into everyday conversation, behaviors, and context. Encourage natural sharing rather than forced promotion. And use social behavior and psychology as your guide. I hoped all of you guys really enjoyed this. I know I did, and feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. Have a great day.